Hi, welcome to Issues and Answers. My name is Mark Nickerson, East Lyme First Selectman. Welcome to the new and improved Issues and Answers. We're actually taping this at the Town Hall in the newly christened Nickerson Studios. I'm not sure that's going to stick or not. Paul Cram, good friend of many of us in town, is lending his superior talent in taping a show and creating the new logo at the beginning, a new intro, and better lighting, and maybe we're going to be able to expand on this and do some cut-ins and bring some footage from around town to you during these shows, and also give you more visuals and graphs when we get into budget season or other interesting topics that we can bring visuals to you. So thanks for tuning in. This is kind of an experiment, but we have the abled Paul Cram at the controls, who's going to make us all look good. So tonight we're going to start with a familiar face. Park and Rec Director. That rhymes kind of. Park and Rec Director, at least the way I talk about it, is Dave Putnam. You know Dave, he grew up in town. Dave, welcome to the new show.
Oh, thanks. Excited to be here.
Look at our logos even lit up in the back. I'm so darn excited. So Dave Putnam, you've been Park and Rec Director for how long?
So this is my 14th summer coming up.
14th year.
Yeah.
Does it get any easier ever?
I don't think it gets easier. It just gets more and more challenging sometimes, and things. But it's exciting. It's a great town to be a Park and Rec Director. We have so many great amenities in town that it's great. It's Park and Rec Director's dream to have this, I think, to have the opportunity to be here and all the amenities that we have in town. It's just amazing.
You talk about all those amenities, and I guess we never really talked about it. We've had you on the show several times, the old show.
Yeah.
We have so many things going on, so many amenities, that a typical town of our size with our population would never come close to seeing all that we have going on.
Right, and so you just look at the boardwalk and then 3 beaches in the community. Not very many communities can have 3 beaches, and then almost if you go from McCook all the way down to the end of Cheney Park by the railroad bridge, it's 1.5 miles of waterfront of beach and waterfront and park.
Right.
And fishing opportunities that a lot of communities don't have. So we're very I think we're very lucky.
Then there's of course there's ball fields, and you control the maintenance of all the ball fields, and we have many activities, including weekend baseball and softball tournaments and all that goes on, in soccer and lacrosse. But then all the events, not only on our downtown, our Celebrate East Lyme and all the other events we have downtown, but the events at McCook's. We have the band shell.
Absolutely, which has been a great addition. I mean, last summer was, I think, awesome as far as a kickoff for that is concerned. So we are having Friday night concerts. We have 8 of them. We start on July 13th and go right through until Labor Day weekend with free concerts from 6 to 8 p.m. on Friday nights.
Friday nights at 6 o'clock. We encourage people to go downtown early, grab some dinner, stick around afterwards, get some ice cream, make downtown part of your experience, but get to the McCook's Park from 6 to 8 and see a free band.
So I need to correct myself. It says 6 to 8. It's actually 7 to 9.
7 to 9.
We did push it back an hour. We thought people would be running home from work, and get the dinner crowd, so they could go to a local restaurant, grab a pizza, grab a grinder, grab something, come up, get on your blanket, your lawn chair, and listen to some. I think we have some real quality music coming up for Friday nights, and then we're also going to do it Wednesday nights. So we do more of an acoustical set on Wednesday nights down on the beach, so people can come and enjoy the beach and hear some music. So it's really, we're excited about getting started here for the summer.
That's neat. So let's talk about Parks and Rec Department, if you will, all the things that are going on. What's new this year from last year? What have you been working on?
Right. So one of our big things this spring has been the renovation of the basketball courts at Pratt's Park, or Brybrook Park, which is known to. It was something that the original courts were asphalt courts, and we decided to go with a post-tension concrete. Would eliminate cracks, and we have a warranty for 25 years to eliminate cracks. And so in the past, every 3 years we were putting $8,000–9,000 into the courts to make sure they were playable and safe. And now that we have this new surface, we're really excited about it. Really good response back from our participants so far. So we opened about 2 weeks ago, and it's really exciting to have that done.
We don't use the courts that much in town, do we?
No, they're used all Saturday mornings. You go down Saturday mornings, you better have your A game, because you're going to sit for a while after the run. Well, if you don't win that game, you're out for a while until you can come back. But
So there's a whole league thing, kind of a makeshift.
Yeah, it's an open play.
It's an open play thing, yeah. But they are used a lot. They're used 3 seasons a year.
Right.
Yeah, and quite extensively.
Yeah, and and the other thing that we did too is we put pickleball courts on there too. So pickleball is a huge, more down in Florida, but it's starting to come up to this, venture its way up to the Northeast, and so we put 3 pickleball courts in there as well, so that we're going to, pretty soon here get some introductory programs going, so people can get introduced to the program, and then be able to play some games and tournaments and stuff out there.
I've seen it played. I've seen it played professionally, but really there's like World Cup or whatever they call it, World Series of pickleball down in Florida. So I got to see some real competitive play down there. But it's also a good recreational sport for all ages.
All ages, absolutely, yeah. So we're looking forward to introducing that. Yeah, so that's really cool.
So I laughed out loud, funny, 5 years ago when I heard pickleball was being played up at the senior center. And now it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. They play it on during the week, and then on Saturdays they have open play, and so we want to extend that to offer some more, and people go outside and be able to do it. And we have lights on the court, so we can do it at night, and so it'll be cool. Yeah, so we're looking forward to getting that started. So.
Great. Other things happening. Of course, we're building the Main Street Park on Main Street. You've seen that. We're going to cut a ribbon on Celebrate East Lyme Day in the morning. So I think we're determining the time still, but watch for the announcement. We're going to have a big celebration in the morning and then give enough time to clear the area and then start closing down streets and all that. So more than likely a 10 a.m. Celebration, if you will. And then that's the day I hand over the keys to you.
Absolutely.
There's no keys. Yeah. Hand over the keys to you, and then you start maintaining that property.
Well, first of all, the committee did a great job of designing that in cooperation with Bill Shear and our landscape architect, who's Eric Royce, they did a great job with the design and getting everybody's input and putting this all together. And if you can see it now in the stages now, and the favorable feedback I've received to date has been unbelievable.
Yeah, we haven't talked off camera about it, but everywhere I go, people are stopping me saying, "Oh my God, the park!" Right. Wait until there's grass. Wait until there's trees, and wait until there's flowers. It's going to be beautiful.
Right, absolutely. And what a great introduction to Niantic and downtown Niantic. It really is, and opens up that whole view of the bay as you come up Penn Ave. So we're really excited about that, and that'll be something we'll maintain and take care of.
Do you remember what it looked like just 2 years ago?
I do. Unfortunately, I do. Yeah. And what an eyesore that was. Yeah. And what an appropriate place for a park and just a nice, just downtown feel to it.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. We're a proud town. We're not particularly. There's not a lot of shine to the downtown. If I could say that without being offensive, we are what we are, and I think we're organic in that way. People live downtown. There's some older homes right on our main street. There's a gas station on our main street still, but this park is just it just complements everything so well, and it also might start the migration to the development of Main Street in the other direction. Heading down toward Genie Park. Right. There's great businesses down there, but we also, and some have renovated over the years. We might see more and more development and renovation down in that direction.
And what a great draw for people to come down. They can walk the boardwalk and then come out and walk on Main Street. I know a lot of people make that loop.
The loop.
Absolutely, and you hear that, the loop, and then you can also loop through McCook, and you can loop through the bluff at Crescent Beach, and it's just recreational opportunities are really
so
really
the benches great. On the Main Street, the Main Street Park will have a platform, above where it says "Welcome to Niantic." There's going to be benches there, and they're going to be two-sided benches, if you will. There's not going to be a back to them. So, if you prefer, you can look out to the bay, or you can turn yourself around and look at all the activity on our Main Street. And wave to people driving by, or stopping for people in the crosswalk. So we can. Watch all that.
And that's something that came out of discussions with the committee. Do we put back? You think that's a small thing, but
we talked for hours about it.
About some of those little things. But I think it makes, in the end, it will make for a great product. And people, great place to. Again, another place you can go, stop, have a picnic, or a little lunch there, sit and rest for a while you're doing your loop.
Speaking of places to go, the bathrooms.
Yeah.
See how I did that? The bathrooms down at Cheney Park. We are finishing not finishing. We're in the middle of that project. It's a complicated project, and then we had to run sewer and water lines up to near the Dad's Restaurant area. So we're pumping it back up to then push it back out again, the wastewater. The bathrooms will be housed in a trailer facility that can be removed when a hurricane comes or during the winter months. That trailer's been delayed a bit, so I'm not going to see much in the way of getting that project finished for this beach season, but it's going to be done. It's being worked on right now, and we hope to see it certainly for next beach season or at the end of this year to make sure all the plumbing's working. And I guess we'll have a ribbon cutting on the outhouse when that occurs. But we're still looking forward to it. We're using state funding on that that was approved many years ago, and we're finally figuring out a way to do it because the FEMA regulations changed, and I couldn't build a bathroom. We all couldn't build a bathroom at sea level. It had to be so many feet above the water line, which posed some interesting engineering. So this is what we came up with.
Right, and we haven't had bathrooms there forever, and I know people are really anxious about it, but we need to do our due diligence and do it right.
You got to do it right.
Right, and something that people be able to use instead of, obviously no one likes to go to the bathroom in a porta potty, but
it's awful.
that's where we are now, but that shortly you can,
it's going to be
see
fixed.
it there, and it'll be another nice amenity to our park system.
Yeah, in progress, right? Progress, and a little bit at a time, but we keep on making progress and solving problems, and that's kind of my job. Beach traffic. Let's talk about the beaches. We a very desirable town. People have discovered us. We ended up on the top 20 or top 30, number 39 of Expedia.com. Kind of a credible news source, one of the best downtowns in the country. But that's not the first list we've ever made. What do we do about beach traffic? What happens around here in the summer?
Yeah, well, population doubles just about, but also, with the improvements to Nyack Main Street and the boardwalk and, into the parks, we made significant improvements to our park facilities at the beaches with our restroom facilities, showers. It's just been amazing. And then you throw in the boardwalk with that and the improvements to downtown. I think it's created a perfect storm actually for us. Whether it's good or bad, it is what it is, and it's become a very, very desirable place for people to come, not only to the beach, but also you can come and get something to eat. You can walk on the main street. There's a lot of things to do, and so our job is how do we manage this the best for our residents, for our non-residents, for everybody moving forward, and we do the best we can for that. But we only have so many parking spots at the 3 beaches, and we only have so many people that can come can fit to our area. So it does spill over, and we want to be good neighbors to our neighbors on Main Street and everything. So it does become a management issue for us. We do the best we can on getting the word out that if you're coming July 4th weekend or you're coming this weekend, which is supposed to be really hot.
Any time where it's going to be, a really good beach day, 85 degrees, sunny, weekend, and you just know it's going to be a good day. What's the advice we can give to a resident?
Yeah, get there early. And just plan for that. We try our best to accommodate everybody, but there comes to a tipping point where we can't manage more people, and we don't have the parking for more people. But I think our staff does really a tremendous job. We have Rob Swan and John Lake down there, and the kids that work on kids that we hire, not kids and older adults that we hire for our gate attendants and stuff. They really do a good job, but it does become an issue on those busy days.
Those are busy days, and cooler heads prevail. An old boss used to tell me, these hot days, you take a step back, you take a deep breath, and things don't go perfectly, especially when it's a lot of people in a hot situation. Don't forget many of our gate attendants and even our lifeguards, although well trained and certified, they're young. This might be their first job, so give them a break too, and try to help them, not condemn them.
Right, absolutely.
So the state parks are now free for anybody with a state registration. If you have a Connecticut state license plate, they just wave you through. We're not quite sure what that's probably not a negative, I don't want to say the word negative, but probably an overwhelming effect on our beaches, because maybe more people will be going to the state parks, finding them at capacity, and trying to find our beaches.
So it'll be interesting to see, and it'll be interesting to see this weekend. Like, I don't know when this airs, but this weekend is really kind of the first weekend of July 4th weekend, because July 4th runs on that Wednesday, so we're anticipating both weekends to be very busy.
Right.
And also I would imagine Rocky Neck's going to be busy too. So this will kind of be the first barometer for us, is when Rocky Neck fills up, how much of that spillover that we get and what time that starts to happen for us. Because we do get some of that spillover. People are coming from a long way to go to the beach. They're going to look to find a beach location. And like you said, I don't know how that's going to work out with it being a free entry fee. You know, people are paying that obviously to their registration, a $10 fee on there.
But if they're not, if they're not a resident in this town and they want to come for a day, it's a $40 charge.
It's $40 on the weekend, for a vehicle. Right. Correct.
And we can't deny them. The state Supreme Court said all public beaches are public.
Are open, right? The Greenwich decision many years ago has rendered that we have to provide access.
We've talked about that ad nauseum. We do a couple shows a year. And we always seem to bring it up, but it's good to be reminded of that. So have patience. Again, please have patience with our beach attendants, with the beach situation. The fees that you pay for a resident parking pass or the outside fees all go into the operation of the beaches. We don't use tax money to support the beaches to the degree that we used to.
Right, and so that starts. That'll start this July 1st, right? Where we have an enterprise fund now that'll, so now that we have we'll have a true accounting of what it costs to run the beach and how much revenue we bring in and how that offsets itself. So this is the first year we're going to that fund. It'll be interesting to see how it works. I'm excited to have that.
It's always a challenge. We talked in past discussions on and off camera about shuttles, about beach trolleys and things like that. And we did look into it. It didn't work out at the time. We'll see what the state park situation, what's created because of the state parks being free, but that $40 charge and what the balance is. You never know, and we're not closing the door on that. There might be a young, enterprising person who might want to run that as a private enterprise, or maybe we pick it up as a park and rec situation and shuttle people down to Cheney Park, which will have bathrooms, will be a more proper facility, and also has plenty of sand.
Yeah, it's a ton of, absolutely.
There's a lot of beach there.
But unfortunately, how that's located and the parking for that is limited. And I think a lot of people know that. So again, if you're going to go and you plan on going to Cheney Park on a busy weekend, a busy beach day, get there early. That's my biggest advice.
So the 100th anniversary of the Celebrate East Lyme is coming up in July. It's not the 100th.
I think it's 18, 19.
It's not even close to the 100. But it's getting up there, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So it's coming up July 21st.
It is. It's we always do it the third Saturday of July, so we don't conflict with Sail Fest and some of the other things that are going on. But it's been what a great way to celebrate our community. Right? Close down Main Street, and it's like a homecoming for a lot of people to come back and plan their summers around and get a ton of events. We have the Paul Lucier Band, who I think you know well, is actually playing our band shell that night before and after the fireworks, and what a great venue to play at and to view the fireworks.
We have such a good time. We opened up the band shell last year, my band, and got to also play Celebrate East Lyme, and we donate that time.
You do, thank you. Yes.
And it's so it's our gift back to the community, but it's also we're so grateful to have the opportunity to play in front of so many people on Fireworks Night. Fireworks Night, which is sponsored by Dominion. We don't say that enough. They're a great community sponsor. They're a great neighbor. Don't like looking at their building necessarily, but it is what it is. But they step up and they support our community. They support Waterford, obviously. That's their home port there. But they do help us in many different ways throughout the year. They're committing themselves and their money to causes in our town. Dominion Fireworks is on Celebrate East Lyme Night is at around 9 o'clock or so.
Yep.
They're one of the best fireworks around and kind of the coolest spot to see them in, because you could be anywhere from the boardwalk to right at McCook's, and things are going off right over your head, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'm biased. I think it's the best show on the East Coast.
It really is awesome.
Yeah, it really is. And like you said, the viewing spots are just tremendous, all along the bay, and then the boats out in Niantic Bay.
Sure.
And it's just it's a long day for us, but I think it's the day that we look forward to the most. I know my staff and I. So
there's so much that comes together for Celebrate East Lyme, and we don't talk about this too much, but between Public Works and all the trash and security, the amount of security that we put into this, especially after the Boston Marathon situation, we stepped up our game quite a bit. With cameras all over Main Street, all the entrances are blocked, so the vehicles can't be driving through. And and we have stepped up foot security for the day too. So much goes into preparing this, and of course your staff, Mike McDowell and yourself and the ladies in the office too. Do so much to get the vendors right and to put on this show.
Absolutely, and our vendors keep increasing every year.
They do.
Yeah, and I think just the support that we have is great, from the police chief to the fire chief to you to the fire marshal. It really does become a cooperative effort to put this festival on, and it's a big deal. It brings a lot of people into East Lyme who get a chance to showcase our community. So
I think that's part of the pride that's going on in this town, because that's undeniable. The people really feel East Lyme in their hearts, and part of that is that we come together as a town on our idyllic Main Street, that is, and we see each other, and we know everybody on that Main Street, and it's just part of it. It's just been part of our community, and it makes a difference.
Well, I think we're lucky that we have a Main Street that we can do those types of things.
Yeah.
And from the light parade, it spills
Halloween,
into the light parade, the Halloween parade, to the Memorial Day
parade. It's awesome.
Yeah. So it has that small town feel to it, and I think people really enjoy that. I know I do.
Listen, there's so much to talk about, and you're always a great guest because there's so much on your plate. I don't know how you get it done, other than the fact that you have an awesome staff.
Got a great staff.
And throughout, and kudos to everybody that works over at Parks and Rec. But you have also, one of the hats you wear is this Miracle League field we're trying to build. You're really spearheading that effort, but also the I Can Bike and all the kayaking program. Right. Why don't we talk briefly on that before we run out of time?
Sure. So our relationship with the Miracle League of Connecticut started last summer with a program called I Can Bike. And it taught
I can bike.
Right, correct. And so what it does is it teaches kids with disabilities how to ride a bike independently for the first time. And so we were approached by the Park and Rec director in West Hartford, who now lives in town, Jim Capides, about bringing the program to East Lyme, and he volunteered to do it. And I said, yes, let's do it. But I didn't realize the impact it would have on my department, on me personally. And seeing these kids and the families really, experience joy of play, which is important to me, obviously, as a Park and Rec professional. And to see that was really special. And so the Miracle League of Connecticut has a field in West Hartford, has been wanting to branch out into other parts of Connecticut over the last few years. So my discussions with the executive director, Mike Michaud, is that he wanted to bring one to southeastern Connecticut. And I said, don't go any further. We're going to do it in East Lyme. Let's do it, and let's do it we're going to privately fundraise for it. And at the time, I would just, let's do this. We can do this. Now we need to raise $500,000 to put the field in. I'm proud to say that since December, since we really started going, we're at $150,000. And it's really the support of the East Lyme community, and the East Lyme businesses have really gotten behind this. And every day a story comes to me from Twist Yarn Shop, who did a knitting day in public and raised almost $1,000 for the project. Yeah.
Wow.
From El Pomodoro, the restaurant, doing Tuesday nights, and the proceeds going up. They're donating a $3,000 check to us tomorrow. And Arthur Murray Dance, I don't want to leave anybody out, Arthur Murray Dance Studio. bayberries. It goes on.
So
and
these
on.
little fundraisers are just adding up.
Absolutely.
And getting the word out too, because it's really all about network. You and I spoke to all the first selectmen and mayors last week, and getting that message out. This is not an East Lyme project.
Right.
This is a regional project, and getting all the towns to buy into this thing. Not buy in with municipal tax dollars, but buy in with their heart and with their sweat equity, to get in there and find donating opportunities in their town, opportunities for donation.
Right, and I think that's our next step in the process. And my thing is to get the word out, and so I appreciate getting a chance to talk to the SCOG members. I've been to Rotary clubs, and I'll go to speak to anybody just about to let them know just what's going on behind the project.
There's
what
some
we're trying to
big
do.
fundraisers coming up. Why don't we start planting those seeds right here, right now?
So we have a big wiffle ball tournament coming up August 25th. It's going to be with the Nyack Rotary Club, who's been a big supporter. Their gala recently, the funds for that are helping this. That's coming up in August, and so we're excited about that. And then we have an Oyster Festival coming up October 6th. St. John's Green and the lot behind St. John's. That's probably we expect our biggest fundraiser to date to be that Oyster Festival. And Father Tony at St. John's has been great about letting us and the parishioners there about letting us use the facility for this fundraising event. And so we are underway. We're got a bunch of things planned with bands and food vendors and all that kind of stuff. So we're in the planning process. We're close to having that almost finalized, and a little bit more information will be in really
That's
quickly.
Gonna be awesome.
It is.
That's going to be
And another
great.
draw for people to come in tonight.
Sure. It's a win-win.
And in October, typically, we don't get as much traffic as during the summer. But I think we're hoping to bring a few hundred, if not 1,000 people down to Main Street. If we can do that in our first year, I think we'd be really successful. So,
if people want to donate, and we were getting individual donations on our website daily now.
It really is, and an
How do they-
article appeared in the London Day
Yes.
recently that has spearheaded some of that, and so they can go to our website, which is www.mlsect.org, Miracle League Southeastern Connecticut.org, and there's links there for PayPal donations, or you can certainly send a check into the Park and Rec Department. Made out to the Miracle League of Southeastern Connecticut.
Miracle League of Southeastern Connecticut, send a check, drop it off. The Parks and Rec Department is in the same building as the library. Drop it off, mail it in. Drop it off at my office if you'd like in the town hall, and we'll make sure it gets to the right people. Miracle League of Southeastern Connecticut. Dave Putnam, Director of Parks and Rec, has been my guest today. These are always conversations that go quick because you have so much to offer. I thank you for coming
I
on
appreciate
the
the opportunity.
inaugural episode from Nickerson Studios. Issues and Answers, new and improved. My name is Mark Nickerson, signing off for now. We'll see you next time on Issues and Answers.